Welcome to this programming tutorial. Today we will be looking at list data structures. Lists are very similar to arrays, however, the key difference is that a list can have its size changed, making it a more dynamic array. To start using lists, we need to make sure a namespace is included in our program. For now, understand that namespaces are separate files with code created by someone else, which we can use. For example, the system namespace gives us the ability to interact with the console window using console.writeLine. You can also think of namespaces like making a cake. You could create a cake for yourself, or you could buy a plain cake from someone who has already made it and then decorate it how you want. To use lists, we use the systems.collections.generic namespace. That contains the subroutines or code that we need. Creating a list is a little bit odd. We will first start by creating a list object and specifying the data type within arrowheads. We then write the name for the list, and we assign a new list of the same data type. After this, we add two brackets, and if you wanted to, you can use curly brackets to specify some items in that list. Let's add apples, oranges, apples, and pears. With lists, there are four main types of methods to think about. A method is a subroutine that you can apply to something. For example, we've already used the .length method to get the length of our arrays. With array lists, you can use the .add method to add an item to the end of a list. Let's add bananas to the end of the list. You can use .remove to remove the first occurrence of an item in a list. This means if you had two apples in this list, .remove will remove the first apple. You can use .removeAt to remove an item from a specific index. In this case, we will remove oranges by specifying we want to remove the item at index 1. And lastly, we can use the .count method to return the length of the list. This is important to remember as lists use .count instead of .length. Let's create a for loop that outputs the entire list. Remember that we need to use .count instead of .length. Let's copy this for loop every time we make a change to the list. I will also add a new line once the loop has finished so that we can see each output on a new line. As you can see, the first method adds bananas to the end. The remove method has removed the first occurrence of apple in the list. The removeAt method has removed the second apple. This is because when we removed apples, the indexes shifted, meaning that the second apple was at index 1 instead of index 2 where it originally started. Lists are very useful in programming, and in some cases, such as with Python, lists are what is primarily used over arrays, as you can dynamically change their sizes. However, arrays give you a bit more control when you are thinking about storage space, as arrays will not grow or shrink, something that may inevitably cause problems with large sets of data. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you have found it helpful.